first time once.
I know.
And it makes me really sad to finish a book that I'm enjoying. So I've really been puttering along with it, but I'm going to have to finish it in the next couple of weeks. I can't wait anymore. And but I've read the first part of Swan's Way, and like I said, it just got heavy and reflective, and it made me very pensive. So I had to at least take a break from it. But I will go back and look at it again because I at least want to see that kind of tension between the first lines. And I definitely, I do. I know I need to go back and read Proust all the way through. I just am like, like I said,
you probably don't have to read all.
How many books? How many Teen Wolf books do you have left? Before you,
I have quite a few still.
I was going to say I have there are doors on my Kindle, and I'm dreading starting it because I have so few Wolf novels at this point that I haven't read. I have several. I have plenty of short story collections left, but in terms of actual novels, I'm almost tapped out. So it's very sad.
Well, our final guest for tonight, Kelby Losack. It's been several years, brother. It's good to reunite on good terms, better terms than before, you know.
Hell yeah, bro. Good to see you again. It's been a minute.
It has, and I really appreciate you reaching out instead of me reaching out to so many. You know, I hope that this tonight finds you in better spirits than the last time we spoke. And, you know, I did want to read something that I found particularly touching from was it your last book, Heathenish? Was Heathenish your last book, or the one?
No, that was 2017, so that was a couple books ago.
Sorry, I'm a little behind, man. But you know, I got the way we came in. Is that the latest one?
That was 2018, and then hurricane season just dropped.
Sorry, I'm catching up. You know,
you're all good. You're all good, dude.
I actually had to correct a review today of Heathenish because it actually looked more dismissive than I meant it to be. I guess because I was just jaded and angry a few years ago, you know, which people are still making me pay for today. But I corrected this, you know. It said too much cool man for my tastes, but still an engrossing read. I'm referring to Heathenish. It would make a fine time capsule to warn future generations not to fail as hard as ours did. I don't think that last part.
What the fuck?
I mean, I don't think that's the last part is out of. I mean, compared to the subject matter of Heathenish, right, Kelby? I mean, right?
Yeah. No, I feel you. I never saw it as a negative thing. You know, I saw that review back when you posted it, and was, you know, I was like, oh, cool.
Then, have you read any of Kelby's stuff? Because I feel like he'd be right up your alley.
He's been on my radar, but unfortunately I haven't yet.
You got to read Heathenish. I fucking loved it, Kelby. I took off my fucking picture from my last guest, so I'll do it for you. I loved Heathenish. I've read a lot of books for this show, and of all the books that I've read for this show, this is the only one that I like. I sat down and I was like, next chapter I should probably like take a nap. And then like 3 chapters later, I was like, I'll find a place to stop after the next couple of chapters. And then I'll take a rest. And then like I'm 50% of the way through the book suddenly after like an hour and a half of reading. And I'm like, I gotta lay down if I'm gonna be able to fucking absorb the rest of this book. It's so good. And then it gets kind of like just experimental kind of towards the end in a way that I thought was really interesting. And just, it was really, I found it to be like a very like junky William S. Burroughs era type book, or like a younger Bukowski type book. And I really admire your prose, and I really admired the emotion in it and the truth in it. And I just really, like I said, I thought it was easily the best book I've read for the show. So bravo, really well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, it has been on my radar because I know you put that out through either Broken River or King Shot, one of the two.
Broken River.
Yeah, and pretty much everything they put out has been, you know, on my radar because I really love their whole aesthetic, and you know, I really like noir. Unfortunately, you know, yours unfortunately just didn't get around to, but it does sound like something I'd have to get around to sooner than later because it sounds like something I would really enjoy.
You'd really like it, Ben. I really think everybody in the room, Neil, I don't know if you've read it, but you would
It's
like it, I'm
on my
sure.
Kindle. It's on my pile. It's in my Kindle. It's getting bumped further and further up the Kindle as we have this conversation.
Yeah, it's really good. I was really impressed because I never, I'm always, my policy is like, it's if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So, if I read a book and I'm not, wowed by it, I'll find something nice to say about it and I'll move on pretty much. Or if I like really disagree with a theme, maybe I'll talk about the theme. But like I just, for me to like really be like wowed by a book by a contemporary author like I was by Heathenish, I think really says a lot about you as an author. And I'm really excited for hurricane season. I've got a copy of it on the way, so I'm really
It's coming. I sent it out. I
looking
appreciate
for
that.
it. So excited, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
the passage that meant the most to me from Heathenish, and I think I'm pretty good at like finding these passages that just kind of crystallize into like the ultimate lesson of the book. It's like the daughter's talking to the dad, who's screwed up a few times. And he said, "I draw finger circles on her back and say, I'm trying to do things right. I'm trying to be the best dad in the world for you." Angelica stops punching me in the ribs and wipes her tears and snot on my shirt. She looks up at me and says, "Try harder." I mean, you can hear it in your head as you're reading it,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that was one of the parts that definitely like really started to catch my attention because it's early on in the book and it's just very.
And the thing is, we are all trying harder. I mean, most of us who care enough, we are trying harder, right?
That's what it's all about. Yeah, that was a really difficult one to write. It was really cathartic, but really hard. A lot of late nights pushing through. Because that's all that's all me. Like, I think last we spoke, you and I, Jeremy, that was like kind of I think it was right before all the sort of heathenish era, a little bit into it. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, some of the shit that was, going on.
Yeah.
I was in some deep poverty, running some,
And
I was that heathenish dude.
Why? And I read Toxic Garbage, and so I could see, that there was a little bit of background there, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Which I would also recommend Toxic Garbage. It's a great debut. Didn't Bradley Sands blurb that as well at one point?
Yeah. That was pretty crazy. That was back when a lot of independent authors, like sort of from the cult lit reactor kind of forum wave, they were highly contactable, easy to reach out to, and which they still are today. I don't know if that comes from like just having connection with them, me personally, but like I just emailed a bunch of people, Patrick Winsink, Richard Thomas, and they were all down to read my first book, Rob Hart, and I thought that was cool as shit.
Tommy character in Toxic Garbage. I mean, the Tommy character in Toxic Garbage, he steals the show all the way up to the end, and yeah, you feel that, that loss of a certain character at the end, and how they're not able to put on a fancy without spoiling who it is. You feel the loss without, even though they can't put on a fancy service for them, for the person, it still matters that they're gone, and that's the best. That to me, that's my favorite part of a book is when a character becomes 3-dimensional and in my face, to where I can't ignore him, And Tommy was like that.
Yeah, that's been my my goal with a lot of shit, because I just like besides Toxic Garbage, I mean, I made all that, that was like some punk rock scene experience mixed with like a super, like, it's almost Train Spotting fan fiction, honestly. But I was 17 about 17 when I wrote it and 20 when I put it out, and so I was ripping off of a lot. But I mean, ever since, I just try to like take real life shit. All my dialogue is pretty much just transcribed from conversations I've saved in my phone, and so that like 3-dimensional character shit, that's really all I care about. Just representing.
Yeah. That's really
Do you-
interesting.
Do you still keep like your finger on the pulse of like that scene type, life today, or do you feel like you had to pull away from it to save yourself? Or what?
No, like well, the punk scene not so much, just because that's not really. I mean, that's a music-based scene that's kind of grown out of the area. But as far as like all the hood rat shit and like, you know, I still live, down in the dirty, and everybody's, the homies are still the homies. So no, I didn't really.
You still represent, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I never doubted it. Yeah.
Jesus, Jeremy.
I know I sound corny as hell saying that.
All dirty style.
So have you become turned over to more of a family man, or do you still feel like that can come out, when it needs to, that those experiences?
I'll say that will more come out because of the family man, if protective, but yeah, no, definitely settled into the sort of family life. Got tired of going to bars where you have to get in a fight every time and all that, all that bullshit. And
Yeah, shouldn't bars be celebratory? That's the thing I've always wondered about. When I go into a bar, it's like it always feels so confrontational. Even when there's no one's like, jabbing their jaws at each other, the whole thing feels kind of confrontational. And it seems like we should be all celebrating, right?
yeah, especially when you're getting wasted, like just chill out, bro.
Never understood that. Oh boy, Ann, what have you gotten yourself into now? She says, "Don't."
Oh, Jesus Christ! No, I won't ask Anne. God bless
At
you.
least she has access to a computer, so she's not in jail.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's
a
a
good
story.
sign. Yeah, she'd have to like call you from a payphone if it were otherwise.
I forgot to
Jeremy,
send her a link.
Jesus.
I think I forgot to send her a link, but
We would be her one call.
the one
Yeah.
time I forgot to send her a link, she wasn't even there. Okay.
So, Kelby, I like to harass people about their writing practice, I guess, when they come on, because I'm always really curious about how different writers work. So you already mentioned that you have this backlog of conversations on your phone, which is really an interesting thing to take from. But do you write every day? Do you write at night? Do you write in the morning? Do you read every day? How does reading factor into your routine? Just what is your general relationship with writing every day, or not every day, or when you feel like it? And what's your practice like? What's your process?
Always thinking about shit, and taking down relevant notes. Usually handwriting notes. I keep a lot of journals because it helps me. I never really look back at them that way. I just remember them. Unless it's, and if it just kind of dies out, then I guess it wasn't that good. But I work for the longest. Just recently, I knocked the workload down to 40 hours a week, but it was like a 50 to 70 hour steady schedule. So it was a lot of just carrying journals around, or writing on my phone in bed late at night most of the time. And now it's I write on this Neo 2, one of those little digital keyboards.
Oh, hell yes. The Alpha Smart Neo.
Hell yeah.
Never leave home without it.
Hell yeah.
Meaning to get one of those.
I have written so much smut on the Alpha Smart Neo. That was my go-to device, because I wasn't allowed to bring anything that could connect to the internet to work. So I would sneak into the back stairwell during my lunch hour. I would eat at my desk before the lunch hour, and then I would go and I would just write smut for 58 minutes and then go back to work.
Genius. That's such a good use of that device.
Man, you guys are getting more covert with this stuff. I'm amazed.
You got to. You got to write, man, no matter what. You can't fucking let anybody stop you. I really admire Mr. Losack's devotion to the craft, because
that's been my own problem. Yeah.
You got to. I used to ride on the bus on the way home. I used to live in Tucson, and I had to work on the north side and live kind of, more on like the kind of east side, I guess. And it was like a long 45-minute ride where I could have been home, but instead, you write, like you said, you write on your phone, you write in a journal, just you do what you can, you write on your lunch breaks. I did that too. Always using company paper, squirreling in early so I can use the printer to print out a manuscript to edit something. You're like, it's 100 pages that they don't need, it's fine. Like,
Hell yeah.
But it's like, you got to. That's what you got to do, man. You
Yeah.
got to, Jeremy.
The boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I print smut on the company time.
That's fucking right.
how
That's right. Write your fucking heart out, Jeremy.
I,
Don't let anybody stop you. I'm
I
telling
know,
you.
definitely, I've got more to say now than I probably ever have in my life. It's just I had to have the blinders off to fully see how much I had to say. I guess God, this weekend has been horrible, like soul crushing, and so
God.
I ought to say something. Yeah,
Yeah. You
Yeah,
gotta
I'd
at
love
least
to see
journal.
more from you, Jeremy.
do what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd love to see more from you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know. I'll let myself down, man. I didn't let anybody else down. I'll let myself down. I know, and that's one more thing to repair, but.
Never too late to start.
That's
I know.
right.
I just let
And
my
healing
anger,
takes time, my friend.
people still won't believe me even after I say this, but I did let my anger cloud me for several years. But whatever, Some
Well,
people
you know
never
what?
gonna be- It's like Alex from A Clockwork Orange. Even though I've never gone as far as his crimes. All right. I've suffered and I'm going to keep on suffering. That's how I feel.
You know what, Jeremy? Let me just tell you, I come into this show as an outsider. I've only, been a part of the show since like October or November. And, I came in and I knew nothing about any of your controversies. If you had never mentioned them, I wouldn't know anything about them. And I
But there's so many
feel
people
like,
willing to remind you about them.
but I didn't ever get reminded about it. I have never
Yeah.
encountered a single person who would have ever said anything to me if you
I
hadn't
literally
brought it
only
up.
know about them because you talk about them on the show.
Yeah, Neil is the
Yeah.
same way.
I
So
really and truly said
gotta-
some things a few years ago that I did not mean.
but
and they're
what I'm
still on
saying
today,
is
but
that
they
now
be
I view
out, and I'm grateful for that.
I view you as a very nice person, Jeremy. And that's what I'm trying to get across is that the Jeremy I know is a nice person who is interested in books and has interesting opinion about books and reads interesting books, and that's what I like about you. And you have some goofy ass fucking political opinions, but I don't see you as being, hateful. I just see you as being misguided by the area where you live in. And you probably feel the same way about me. And so that's just the way society fucking works now, and we just kind of condescend to each other all the time. But we love each other at the same time. We're all
But I
friends
know
and we all
if
care
I-
about each other. And I think you're a good dude. So I think you just gotta let that past go.
And I
Don't even
think
talk about it. Don't even think about it. Be a new Jeremy every single day. Every day. Be a new
100%.
person.
I do think that if I needed to know how to get something done in the system, you'd probably be able to help me more than someone who just tells me to just figure it out myself, because they did. I will say that. But so Kelby, we've obviously got some books to catch up on, man. Like The Way We Came In was the next to most recent. So let's start there. We talked, when you came on previously about toxic garbage, and I think heathenish in it during its inception. So
Mhm.
what's The Way We Came In about? Is that more like scene, like revisitations, or what?
So, way we came in started as I wanted to write a sequel to Heathenish, sort of, or like a Heathenish adjacent thing, where so that Sean character in Heathenish is based on who's like a brother figure slash actual like uncle of the narrator, and that's the dude, like it's the dude I came up with is who it's based on, and he's been locked up. He caught a 30-year sentence on some shit and tried to take me down with him, and I started writing it as a letter, and I probably still am going to get around to like doing something along those lines because I don't think I've reconciled all my feelings about that. But I started writing it as like a letter, so it's like it's in first and second person, and it kept that format, but the characters sort of changed into something else, and it ended up being the story about twin brothers, one who's just out of prison and the other one who just lost his job, and they've got a week to make rent or before they get evicted. So it's a very class conscious, logistical,
Interesting.
fast paced crime novel. There's a lot of crime fiction that just doesn't understand the like actual logistics and ramifications of the lower working class and like what it means to not, why you have to go to certain extremes and to just make rent and shit like that. So that's sort of a lot of the shit that I was getting out during that, and I think it's safe to say, because it's been shared on social media here and there, that this has actually been optioned for film.
What?
So
Oh wow!
Congratulations.
yeah,
See, I knew it, man. I fucking knew it. I told you. You got it. You got it. You got that je ne sais quoi that they
It's
want.
still got to make it to screen, but I mean, still, even if it does, even if it doesn't, I mean, it's there, man. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Ooh, I really am excited to read this now. I just added it to my Goodreads list. Which
Well, now you say so. Why some people have to go to some extremes, and I guess in my own state right now, my own mental state right now, I may see it of a different intensity. But I mean, do you mean that they have to make a such a drastic move towards some action in order to get the same result that someone experienced in business would just by being in business? Am I wording that right?
Yeah. Basically, they gotta do some criminal shit
If they want to
get money.
If they want to see results the same way that business person would, and they don't have the backing, financial backing, and whatnot, they have to do something more drastic in order to reach that same result. And so that is not people starting out at the finish, the starting line at the same playing field. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So how would they fix that? Is that something that you explore here, or is it just
holy shit, Jeremy? What do you mean? How do you fix a country that's built a
Poverty?
class of the working poor?
I don't know how to word. I know what I'm saying, but I don't know how I'm wording it. Like, no.
Well, in the book, they use the brothers' connections to get a hold of some drugs to flip.
Okay. I'd probably go with that too.
Which is, I mean, it's pretty easy. Like, so, if I'm desperate, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I've done some desperate things in the last few months myself. So yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, is that they make it so lucrative to sell drugs on any kind of black or gray market, and they make it so cheap to get fucking OxyContin from a doctor and turn it around on the street. And it's like, and then they have this built-in class of slaves who are, part of our prison system. And it's just like, I get really pissed off when I talk about this shit.
No, I agree. Private prisons are bullshit, and they've been abolished once more, so we don't have to worry about it anymore, right?
They haven't been abolished. They still exist. Are you high?
All I know is what I hear in the news, and that's, hey, Biden just abolished private prisons.
What you hear on ONN and fucking Fox. Jesus.
No. I'm saying that abolished them. It's a good thing, and I don't know, you know.
But they didn't abolish private prisons. All they did is they stopped. They made it so that the like government contractors won't be working with private prisons anymore. Private prisons still exist.
And how much is the hour wage for a private prisoner? What, $1? It's literally
Cents on the dollar, yeah.
Oh, it's cents.
That is savage.
Like
That's savage no
firefighters.
matter which way you are, no, which walk of life you are.
My father is in prison, and he makes, I think, I want to say like $1.67 an hour, if that. I can't remember. It might not even be a whole dollar, but $1.67
Plus
sounds
tips.
right. Working in the
Plus
prison
tips.
library.
And
it's like,
do a lot of them really think, well, at least I'm getting to go outside in the sunshine or something? Do they really think that? Or is that bullshit?
what are you fucking talking about, Jeremy?
I don't know. I've never been, so I don't know.
I don't know, Jeremy. Why don't you
I've heard
ask?
people who have been
What?
talk about it. That's all I know.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, sunshine. My mother also was a prison guard at a different prison, a women's prison, and they
that how
did
they
have what?
I'm
Is
saying
that how they met?
the hour.
No, fuck you. This is a totally different times. This was a totally different times.
I'm saying the hourly wage is vastly, wrong and needs to be addressed, just based on, human, decency, treatment, humane treatment of people, whether they've done something wrong or not. I mean, and probably not.
I'm curious about this. Jeremy, what do you think a fair wage for a prisoner would be?
No, I don't even know about that. I don't even know how to answer that. But I know it's more than $1 or $1.60. Jeez. Should it be less than someone who's doing the same job on the outside? I don't even think that necessarily, no. And that's as a conservative, so I mean, I don't know.
I'm really conservative.
I'm trying to dig into what Kelby's saying in order to get milk the most out of that is what I'm trying to do.
I understand, but I think,
I'm not in my best tonight. I'm not in my best tonight.
The problem was you turned it into a conversation about private prisons being abolished, and then you somehow brought up the wages of prisoners, and it's like, don't even fucking start to talk to me about prisons. I have it from both sides. I have information, so don't even fucking come at me.
But even if someone committed murder, and they're on a workforce in prison, they should not be paid $1.60, right? I mean, so can we
talk about the books?
Huh? Yeah, let's talk about the books. Okay,
What
I've
book?
tried, Kelby. I'm sorry, man.
No, I'm digging it.
I don't
man.
always have the magic that I used to have, the sleight of hand verbally. But okay, go ahead, you guys. I'll wait for my chance to jump back in.
Bro, I could talk prison all day.
Go ahead. Well, do what you want. Yeah.
Well, I think it's an interesting subject, and I think it does relate very much to Kelby's books. And I think that, like you said, it's so much as this desperation that's built into us, where it's like, your options are be a wage slave outside or be a wage slave in prison, or do something outside of the law and try to stay out of prison.
I've got my service animal, and I'll let you handle it, Regina.
Holy shit, if you're going to let me handle it, don't talk over me. I wish I could mute you.
That's a good way to tie it in, though. Like, I think not totally consciously and not everything about it being on the, I try not to be didactic, or I don't think I could be didactic with anything because I don't really write for a message necessarily. But I think there is a lot of that. It's like, where do you want to be the wage slave, on the inside or on the outside? And then it's like how fucking hard it is to, once you're out, you're just, you put yourself on pause for so long, but the world kept going, and then you just get spit back out. And so like the rest of the world is like 5 years, 10 years ahead of you, however long you were in there. And there was nothing really being done to rehabilitate or help, like move you, onto a better path once you get out.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just there's nothing. There's literally no encouragement, and in fact, I would argue that prison only fosters criminal behavior and encourages it. And
Absolutely. And I would say because they want slave labor. Like,
yes,
you know,
exactly. It's it's the same. Oh man, I really do believe that 9/10 of society is geared toward creating as many low class slaves as possible. I mean, it's like fuck. Once you're a felon, try getting a job anywhere.
Mhm.
It's like the best you can do are these restaurants who, out of the goodness of their heart, hire felons and give them a second chance. We hire people who are ready for a second
Yeah.
chance at life.
Yeah, but enjoy a minimum wage job with no benefits and all permanently part time. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why the whole thing of them, not being able to hire people. People don't want to work. No, people don't want to work for you, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I can even speak for like my place where I work hires felons, like has hired mostly felons.
That's cool.
It's construction. I work. I'm a custom cabinet maker, so it
Oh.
takes a level of craft. But like, I've been in it for like 12 years,
Nice.
and I can teach anyone who's willing to learn. But
That's cool.
besides the like inability to find a job for most felons, they also there's so many social things that get worked into you in prison that like once you're in a job, like I myself have told people to like not come in anymore because you can only try and help so much before they just fucking
Yeah.
they show
Yeah.
up drunk at noon and fall asleep on the work table and then they leave after 2 hours. It's like, bro, that's not. And then they come back for a paycheck. It's like that's not how this shit
And they're
works, man.
surprised. Yeah, and it's like, no. I'm sorry, my friend. Yeah. Every once in a while that would happen at the window company where you have somebody who comes in and just, oops, I've got a loose cat. Where you've got somebody who comes in and just kind of, thinks that they've got some kind of gig they can relax on. And it's like, you got to do at least the bare minimum of work. You got to at least fool me into thinking you're working for this to fly, my friend.
You have to be more clever about pretending to work.
Yeah, don't insult my intelligence. I need some kind of a ruse to justify your paycheck, please. Just don't make me have to lie.
Wow. Yeah, Regina, you're doing a good job. Keep going.
She's off screen taking care
Anyway,
of Izzy.
Had to wrangle a panther out of the way here. I apologize. Kelby, raiders often have animals. Do you have any cats or dogs right now, Kelby?
No, not at the moment. I really need a fence before I'm comfortable getting another dog or anything.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Yeah, I knew what kind of book I was fucking in for at the beginning of Heathenish when you got into the sad part with the pit bull, which is another.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is that it's like, what dog is the most stigmatized dog that's also disproportionately preferred by people who are of a lower socioeconomic class? Oh, it's the pit bull. Is it just that people hate poor people? Is that really the problem here? Because I think that it fucking.
I really relate to them on that level. That's why the last 2 dogs I had were pit bulls, and I mean, they were both actually happenstance. I mean, one was a rescue dog that my friend had rescued and then couldn't take care of anymore, so I sort of started taking care of her, and then.
Aww.
The last dog I had, I stole from the neighbors because they just had him chained to the tree and he was starving, so I just stole him.
I don't know how people do that to animals.
I just don't understand.
Like that's a sure sign of sociopathy. Just treating animals that way.
For sure.
Like they're just a status symbol. Like, hey, I've got a dog chained up in a kennel in the backyard. I don't. That means that I'm like accepted by this neighborhood, right? I've seen that over and over. I mean, throughout my life.
Yeah.
The dogs
Um,
don't mean anything to them. They mean something to the kids, but not the adults who put them in that situation. Yeah.
It's a thought that
Yeah.
the animal is the animal is a piece of property, and
They can
Yeah,
be
that's
as good as any friend if you treat them that way.
yeah, and it's probably kind of like what you mentioned, like either the kids want a dog or something like that, and they don't realize it's actual work to have a dog, and so they just
Mhm.
start they start doing things like just chaining it outside 24/7 and barely feeding it.
That's another, like, I'd love to have a dog right now, like, but just circumstances, it's not ready for that right now. I mean, it's the same as having a kid, and then some people just like,
Is.
I'll just get one, and if it doesn't work out, I'll get rid of them. It's like, that
Yeah.
you gonna do that to your kids too? Like,
Yeah.
I'll just try it out.
Yeah, the kid's not working out. I'll bash its head against the and have another one.
I'll just chain them to the tree.
Let it go
You
feral.
can drink rainwater. It's fine. Yeah, man. I just have never understood. It's like, and animals are so good and wonderful, and it's just like, man, people fucking suck. I don't understand. I shouldn't say people suck because people are often very
Well,
good,
people do suck.
but it's like, yeah.
I mean, once in a while, there's like individual people who are good, but people on the whole suck.
Yeah, that's probably a safe generalization sometimes.
It's really complicated too, because like, I have a lot of friends who don't feel the same level of affection towards animals or even the same level of respect, and I know they'd have my back in anything. And so it's like, I know you're a decent person, but I've also seen you like do some really fucked up shit to dogs, like.
Yeah, it's like that's the thing, is that there is such a cultural difference sometimes with the way people are toward animals like dogs, especially because like even on farms, dogs are more of a tool than like a friend. And so it's like there's definitely a difference, but it's like it's so like just like you said, it's like seeing a child mistreated to someone who's like really, a dog or a cat person. It's so emotional, and it's so much, it's like, I guess it's just like a culture clash almost, man. It's like yeah, it's like, what do you fucking do? I guess you just can't say anything, but I've been there too, man. It's like when you're at somebody's house smoking weed and somebody else has a kid, and it's like,
You can point out all the
I'm
little
not
things
gonna
that they don't
say
do.
something. No, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just gonna erase this part of my brain, I guess.
So,
I'm just want the weed, man.
so hurricane season. I don't know anything about this one. What is it out? Is it out yet, or is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it's out. You can get it on only on my store right now, kelbylosack.bigcartel.com. I put it out as a limited edition print, and I'll drop an ebook at some point. But I wanted to experiment with form with it, just as far as like the distribution side of it, like sending it out as more of a collector's artifact versus a print, the whole print on demand model where shit just dies off and people's saved for later, and a lot of times doesn't really get any attention anyways. So I thought the collector's route might be a cool thing to try. And the story itself, I was wanting to write two different things. My best friend lives in a haunted trailer, and so his stories.
Back that up a little bit. You got to back that up a little bit.
I know. You're
That
talking
actually-
about bury the lead, man. I
that
didn't
makes a
realize
good,
this is based on a true
yeah.
story.
Are you gonna slip that in?
You should make that the title. My best friend lives in a haunted trailer.
It's a good title.
See, but you know, he's got all these like, you know, poltergeist stories and like you know, demonic animals coming out of the woods type shit, and like, and I mean, you know, I've been over there, and there's a vibe, a hardcore, like, so uh there's, you know, all of his stories that I wanted to, like, I was like, I need to write some of this down. I just need to steal this shit from you. And and then I also was wanting to write something to do with hurricanes, because I've always gotten a vibe from them, and that's, I think that's my thing. I like to capture vibes, and you know, a book, like, I like to sustain a tone. And you know, when Harvey hit down here, it looked like a fucking third world country. You know, I'm in construction, so you know, got into like, you know, gutting people's houses, and everything just being down to the bare bones, like from 4 foot down, and furniture out at the road and shit. So you know, just the aftermath of all that, plus the, like, all the footage. Like, we left before it hit, because it seemed like it was going to be a harsh one, but seeing all the, like, drone footage and everything of how, like, the river had broke the levee, and shit was just like, the Brazos River took over the entire city for, like, you know, for several different towns. And so I was like, you know, I don't know, a lot of those images just stuck with me for years. So I wanted to do something about, write something about hurricanes. So I just ended up merging the two. You know, they were both lingering on my mind. So I was like, well, this will be a hurricane ghost story then.
That's cool, man. I really like it. I love it when concepts kind of come together with that. Like you said, the resonance, the tone, you know, man. It's like, I get it. I'm really excited to read this one. I can't wait. How long did it come out to be?
It's 90 pages long, and
Nice.
it's 8,000 words. So
Interesting.
I've been, it's also my first pulling the trigger on the whole fuck it, like, with you know, what's a book supposed to be, and this and that, and like,
Yeah, man. I love
I've always
that.
joked that, you know, a novel is something that has a front page and a back page and some words in the middle, and like, but I mean it, like,
That's true.
and I'm just, you know, I'm sticking to my guns with it, with this one, and like,
That's great.
I think the book is the argument too. Like, at this point, I practiced what I preached, and like, if anybody wants to debate, like, 8,000 words isn't a novel, like, you can read it. I mean, because it is.
I totally agree. It's like Hemingway with his 6-word story about, you know, for sale, baby shoes, never used or never worn, whatever it is. You know, it's like that is like that sentence contains so much information in those 6 words. I mean, that's a novel right there. It's like so much like grief and moving past the grief, and also the hope before the grief, and you know, there's so much that's in there, and I feel like, yeah, I totally get it, man. It is. It's, yeah, I like that. Anything with a front page and a back.
I've met a lot of those stodgy academic types who swore that 30,000 words is a novella, and after that, you're approaching a novel, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, now they want to throw a novelette in there somewhere. I think. Yeah, it's like,
yeah,
oh, fuck off.
When did it get so technical? I don't even remember people using the word novella in the 90s. I don't know. It just was. It was probably a short story at that point, but you know, does it matter? Yeah.
Well, no, I mean the Nebulas and the Hugos always had like best novella.
Well, if you want to, yeah, if they want to get technical, yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
It all comes down to the. Sorry, my street's fucking loud. It all comes down to the award season. You know, you have to meet the qualifications and shit like that. Like, I don't need a trophy, but it is a novel, so.
Yeah, I mean,
just so you know, throwing it out there.
I mean, both my novels are technically novellas, but you know, normies and just average readers don't really use that term, so I just say they're novels or they're short novels or something like that.
Hmm.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. The marketing gets confusing too. Like you said, like most people they're gonna be like a novella. What is that? Like you speaking French or what?
I don't want to read a French
What is that?
novel. I don't know
that's
French.
there's some fancy academic shit here.
Yeah. It does sound fancier as shit. Now I want to just start calling everything a novella.
I know. It's like novellas.
What is this written in some Mexican-ish language? Is that why you're calling it
Is this
novella?
written in Mexican?
Yeah. Is the jalapeno gonna fall out if I open it?
Oh boy.
By the way, so I'm allowed to make that joke.
So
There you
Kelby,
go.
I haven't kept up as much as I could the last few years, I admit. Is Broken River still a solvent publication, or are they kind of taking a step back, or what?
Broken River is David's flag. So, he's always been real upfront about what it is exactly. He's one person. It's always been one dude just editing, designing, printing, promoting, the shit as best he can. And he and I have had a lot of conversations over the years about what exactly is a small press, or what could a small press do that other small presses don't, and just being honest about like the parameters that you're able to work in without burning yourself out and shit. And like I like he brought it to me recently as like the idea of a collective where it's just some people you fuck with that are either your day ones, and every once in a while, somebody that you really click with, that you come across along the way, but just basically putting out shit with people who, like, say if he fucked with somebody and wanted to put them out through Broken River, then, and they wanted to, and that benefited both parties, however, which is basically just in the small press arena, the benefit you get is the recognition, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get an advance or like high, royalties or like anything like that. You might get seen by more people if that press is recognizable, and a lot of people fuck with that press. So, which, is a benefit of Broken River, but yeah, I think he's and that's the homie. I talk to him like literally every day. He's working a lot on his own shit right now, which I'm really excited about because he can write like a motherfucker, better than most people that he's published. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if that fully answers.
No, yeah, it told me exactly what I needed to know, and yeah, it didn't shatter any perceptions I had either. So yeah, I think that definitely qualifies. So yeah, man, and by the way, that's only one that he's written. Black Gum is also pretty awesome, and Low Down Death Ride Easy was another good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having to circle back around and like rememorize some of these things, as I kind of clear out my own, closet of indiscretion or whatever. But I spoke with him, and he was diplomatic, and yeah, I appreciate what he's contributed to literature, on the writing front and the publishing front. So J. David Osborne is definitely someone I would remember and recommend, and also Kelby Losack for Toxic Garbage and Heathenish. And I'm gonna give your other stuff a try here soon, man.
Hell yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome.
I hope that under the circumstances, that's about the most glowing, recommendation I can give, because I'm in a very dark place myself that you have probably already found yourself out of. But Yeah, man. I always liked your work, and I still do. You know, even if we
Well,
didn't speak for years. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and the way I don't know, man, the way shit went down, like
You don't have to
I've
say anything if you don't want to. It's okay.
nah, it's just so much bullshit. Like I think you and Kevin honestly were like ahead of, and not even to say, I hate to even like preface shit with like I don't agree with everything you say, but because two fucking agrees with everything other people say.
Nobody agrees with everything me
But
and him
but
say.
I don't know. Y'all were honestly ahead of calling out a lot of like bullshit within the facadic PC culture that was sort of coming out of independent literature circles. And I mean, I understand the jadedness and you know, start I had said when I reached out, I'm not sure exactly. I can't even remember if we had any like personal beef throughout that shit, but
No, just that I had hurt some people that you cared about, and honestly, I did. Yeah, when I criticized Delarue's award win, I mean, yeah, I can own what I did. Yeah, I probably could have. I could have gone without doing that. Yeah, but so yeah,
yeah.
God bless you for saying that though. What you did say, that's more than enough. Yeah, but
Yeah, no, I mean it's all cool. I mean, I don't
I'm really
all
happy
the
that you're finding a way through the darkness, without any mentoring. Now it seems like though, and I haven't even asked you about your music these days. I know you did a lot of music too on SoundCloud and everything. I don't even know what's going on with that. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I live south of Houston, right? So I'm surrounded by rappers and producers, and that's always been something that I fuck with. Um, I've got I'm working on an album. Uh, so I don't have anything. I mean, you might be able to find some shit that I'm probably embarrassed of somewhere on the internet that I forgot to delete or something. But so
One of
don't go
you is
Googling
like
too
really
much.
bad. Damn.
But
I know what we're
but
closing with now.
Too
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
but no, there's gonna be some new shit soon. I'm working on it, and I really want to not necessarily perfect it. It's not gonna be too polished, but like I want to get it sounding like I want it to sound, and probably drop a 7 to 10 track album by the end of the year.
That's cool. That's really exciting. You should come back on the show at least to just, let us listen to like a little sample and talk about the process when it's time to release it. We'll
Hell yeah,
give it the
hell
old
yeah.
quiet place bump.
Would
Yeah.
love to.
Oh, man.
Thank you very much, Kelby. It's been a better evening than it had any right to be on my end. So thank you for coming back, man. Thank you for reaching out, and God bless anybody who shares your reticence to continue fighting over bullshit. Really,
Hell yeah, hell yeah. No,
let's stop taking political positions and just get back to living our lives. Is that so wrong?
that's like,
Listen,
bro, like I don't even give a fuck what you think about different things. Like if you not to I don't want to like air anything on the air about like personal shit that we've talked about, but like you've genuinely come to me with questions as out of sincere concern, and that's like I don't care what you think about. I don't know the fucking shit going on in Israel, like no, or like like I don't give a fuck, like
yeah,
That's
people
awesome.
are people, man.
And this weekend has taught me that every time I think I've learned that lesson, I learned a little bit harder. So for anybody looking for me to suffer, I'm getting it this weekend. So, and I ended up coming on camera, even though I swore I wouldn't. So there you go. You got that too. Kelby, thank you, man. This has been a really great healing session, and I support anything you do going forward. 100%.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Let me know
Yes.
if you do a GoFundMe or something. I'll contribute to that. I don't care. I mean it.
And tell us again, real quick, where people can get your new book, The Hurricane Season.
You can go to kelbylosack.bigcartel.com. You can follow me on Twitter at heathenishkid. Stay relatively active over there while trying not to lose my mind on it.
That's
Yeah,
the goal.
Twitter, do that.
There it is.
All right, yeah, there it is. I'm really excited to get my copy. So, I will certainly leave a review when I read it, and I hope everybody at home does too. Thank you.
For the record,
coming
the
on,
Animal
Kelby.
Season was more expensive than that, so I definitely recommend picking that up. Animal Money, I mean, not the Animal. God, the Animal Money. Animal Money by Michael Bishop or something. That one was like $30. That's nothing compared to that. I definitely recommend picking that up. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
you'll
Appreciate
definitely enjoy it more, and you'll finish it sooner too. So,
it. Yeah.
these are all glowing things, right? I mean, these are glowing. I hope
Yeah,
they
yeah.
may
Absolutely.
not be coming out that way, but they're meant that way.
No, I appreciate it. I feel where you're coming from.
It's great to reconnect, brother. I hope this
You
isn't
too.
the last time.
No, definitely not.
All right, awesome. Wow.
Good night, Kelby. Thank you.
All right, take it easy.
Thanks a lot for coming on.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Did I click the X thing?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
X
you
out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Y'all take it easy.
Bye.
You too. Bye bye.
So